Move away, and this race is now on. Kilometre 0. Looks like it's going to deter some riders early on in the crash there on the right-hand side of the road. Just looked over her shoulder and clipped the wheel of the rider in front.
Well, this would be absolutely devastating for Demi Vollering because she showed such great form this season, finishing second in the Tour de France. She's in a really difficult position because she's in the middle of those two groups, so she's getting no advantage or no help from anybody around her. So she has a lot of work to do to bridge across to the two riders in front of her. Now,
Gladys Verhulst is doing a momentous ride at the front of this race. The gap is still 35 seconds. She's completely solo. No one's getting anywhere close to her, despite the little bits of jumping around going on behind her.
In rhythm on the climb, so she's settled into a strong tempo there, and she's really maintaining a good advantage over the peloton.
This is a little bit of a surprise as well. Shireen van Anrooy has been dropped by the peloton. This is the rider who won the over the top of the climb and heading back down to Wollongong now for Gladys Verhulst. Thanks very much for joining us. This is the UCI Women's Elite Road Race Championship. If you've just tuned in now, welcome along. We're down in Illawarra, New South Wales of France, and can climb and can sprint.
Really makes a big impact on the latter part of the race. So that constant refueling throughout the day is very,
we haven't mentioned at all so far during the race. We haven't put a curse on her at all. Lotte Kopecky, you cannot discount her, surely, with this sort of terrain, this peloton.
Well,
you would go then after the finish line as you turn right away from the coast.
Well, if you were looking to attack at a point on the circuit that's not on the climb, it would make sense to attack on the climb. In fact, very few riders in this peloton are going to be capable of attacking on the climb. So like this group of the circuit well before the climb, where they'll have the opportunity to enjoy some shelter from that strong headwind, and they quite quickly built up an advantage.
Zoe Backstead cheering on her sister as she makes her way across the line. Zoe Backstead cheering on Eleanor Backstead as they cross the line. Ford Bianic now coming across the line. This is quite a big advantage at 1:17.
Just under 85 kilometres to go. I think we will soon expect some real action from the peloton.
A real grind to the top. It just shows when the legs go, that's it, game over.
Yeah, that's right, Anthony. When your legs go on a very steep climb, like this one up Mount Pleasant, you do come to a complete stop. Whereas back in the peloton, you can see the energy is still there. You can see they're attacking over the summit of this climb, keeping the pace really high.
Australia and Italy looking to exert their authority on the front of the race. Of France with Caroline Anderson, those two riders cross the line. The deficit 54 seconds, and the peloton closing in, starting to turn the pressure on.
Good race. One of the Italians now just popped off the front.
This is Cecchini.
Now, I don't think this would have been an attack from Cecchini. I imagine one of the...
Maybe just a little bit of a change in circumstances as a gap was left. Now we see an attack on the right-hand side. Looks like Ellen van Dijk has decided it's time to go to the front. So as you outlined, Rochelle, certainly a little bit grayer again. 54.5 kilometres of racing to go. Spila Kern has just attacked for the team of Slovenia. Makes a move up the outside, decides that it's time to go.
And as Simon has pointed out a few times, it's a very difficult place.
Ready for 3 laps of racing to go. Our solo leader with 3 laps to go, Spila Kern.
Finish line. Well, as soon as they hit the rise, that's where Sarah Roy struggles, and the Italian team now not too worried about the breakaway.
Fisher Black is there, Leanne Lippert is there, and suddenly they're rushing
the pace. She's being matched by Lippert.
Balsamo, the defending champion, has gone. She is distanced. We say goodbye to a rider who has been a wonderful world champion, but it's not going to be her day. She hauls her way up the climb. Lippert, Nelia Doma, Elisa Longoborghini, Elise Shabby, Nee Fisher Black. Coming across is Cecilia Uttrup-Ludwig, Ashley Moorman-Passio, and also there the climb, and it's a really strong group of riders. Trying to come back, Nee Fisher Black and Elise Shabby. And Annemiek van Vleuten fighting for all she is worth.
It was Leanne Lippert who really drove it hard over the summit of that climb. She knows that if she goes over the top with that entire group, they may start to look at each other and sit up again. She knows she's got a good gap here.
Going to come all back together with 5 key riders at the front of the race.
Well, the 5 strongest climbers in the race have assembled at the front now.
It's 24 seconds. They have got 1 climb of Mount Ousley, 1 showdown on Mount Pleasant, and the run back to the race finish. Get ready. Has caused all sorts of panic, but it's all back together. An attack. Ellen van Dijk, having done all that work, doesn't want another group to go away.
It's Bertizzolo there from Italy that has followed Brodie Chapman off the front. They don't have much of an advantage as yet.
She goes clear. Big move. The Italians trying to close this down with Bertizzolo again. Again, the same climbers come to the front. It's Lippert.
Kopecky there as well. These riders will have to have the ride of their lives to bring this to the finish. There will be a strong chase behind them.
Now it's all about the run down to the finish. 5 riders. It's the same 5 who were the strongest on Mount Pleasant the first time they attacked. Xavi is there. Reusser is just swinging all over the road. Annemiek van Vleuten with that fractured elbow with knee. Here goes the attacks. Riders now sense that they've got to get themselves across. Lotte Kopecky is in with a huge chance.
Here comes
Annemiek van Vleuten attacks on the right-hand side. Van Vleuten goes clear and everybody looks. Annemiek van Vleuten. Meters to go and time trials to the win.
Absolutely unbelievable. She has ticked all the boxes this year. Has any rider impacted if they could have? You know, she was on the other side of the road and everybody was at their absolute limit.
What an incredible moment as Annemiek van Vleuten takes the world title. Look at Lotte Kopecky. They just left it too late.